Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. It's your favorite time of the day. We are waiting to see what Bitcoin does at the top of this price zone, friends. Bitcoin sitting at around 108,000 American dollars. The US data, the CPI, came out cooler than expected, and major loser Jerome Powell is not expected to move rates at all. So what does Donald Trump have to say about that? Apparently, Elon may or may not have given a phone call to Donald Trump as well. More coming for you later on. But first, let's check out the Bitcoin price. The monthly candle is still looking juicy. We do expect, though, friends, we do expect that there are some jittery actions from basically now for a little while. And I've seen something that Blockchain Backer showed, which is pretty much just some Elliott wave stuff. And it's a very, very common crypto pattern, especially for BTC. What it does is, you know, whenever we get to these zones, commonly there is this little like, okay? Now, this farty poopy noise, I don't know how low it can go. I mean, like BCB's just in case it wants to wipe us here. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just in case she wants to like wipe you in a day, just don't lose the plot. That's all I'm saying. Okay, just in case. See, and here's the thing: if we just go up, okay, cool, we go up. You don't have to worry, you know. So we're just protecting ourselves with that. Yes, this is James Wynn's new liquidation. James Wynn has a $2 million profit price, so he's long. It's now been shown out to the universe as well. James Wynn, having a look as well. If I go check it out, I think he is now. Oh crap! I think I just noticed literally a minute ago now, he has added to his long. Oh, crap. His liquidation price is now 105,700. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to have to edit that chart now. Oh, crap. He's doing it again. James Wynn. Oh, man. This is going to be quite the tail for 105,000. Let's just put 105,500. So, oh, man, this is going to get very, very naughty. You shouldn't do this. Look, friends, okay. So if you're wondering, okay, how do you avoid this stuff? Okay, look, don't put a freaking 40x leverage long, all right? You should not, bro. Well, it's Bitcoin, dude. You should not be long with that aggressive size with your stop here. It's literally just a freaking daily candle. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, okay? That's just what you can do. Oh, man, it's just... Well, look, we're just going to let it play out. We'll see. And you got to remind yourself as well, friends, okay, you learn all these lessons from James Wynn. You don't need to lose $100 million to learn a lesson that leverage is too extreme, it's too high. That's first and foremost. Number two, stick to your circle of competence. Extremely important. Okay, when something is working for you, just keep sticking to it. But also, you got to walk that fine line. You can't just be going out. See, people might say as well, I'm going to keep sticking to what I'm doing, and then they crank up the leverage, right? And then that's when it gets very, very dangerous. This is the Ethereum price chart. Ethereum, friends, is super strong, man. It's up to 2,800. So I won't even be surprised if BTC does go to like that 105 just to ping him out. 100, 101, 102. It has some like little jitter down. And Ethereum is literally just like, you know, super strong. It could even remain as a green candle. I know the correlations are there, but Ethereum has been bonked hard, right? Okay, so who's left? Only the strongest of strong-hand believers. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. I would not be surprised as well if we see Bitcoin dominance go down as Bitcoin goes down. I won't be surprised. That'll be like our first price action clue that alt season is ready to blow here. Now, you got to remember what we're all still playing for, friends, and I'll give you these friendly reminders very often, right? Crypto to 10 trillion, all right? We have a lot of concurrent themes. Meme coin SuperCycle, that's for the retailers. StableCoin SuperCycle, retailers and institution. Bitcoin treasury bubble, crypto IPO bubble. Retailers can fit into all of these. Okay, retailers are buying into Bitcoin treasury bubble stuff. Crypto IPO, yeah, that's for the retailers as well. They're going to be buying the stuff on all these opens. Like they might be buying Ripple and Kraken and Gemini, and then they'll just all be like literally top signals. They'll just go bang, 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 bang. The good thing is though, they haven't released all those stocks yet. Okay, and we still we got ETFs and everything's coming as well. PUI, you know, so we'll go through a bit through that later. But first, right, the CPI did come out, cooler, 2.4%. And then major loser, too late, Jerome Powell has said nothing. Now, remember, friends, I showed you that trick Okay, you don't even need to interpret the data yourself. You just have to look at the US Fed funds rate straight away. Okay, this is a chart of the 2-year minus the Fed funds rate. Okay, so literally on this data, look, nothing moved. You see, we have not had a big move at all on this daily chart. See, the number here is minus 0.37%. So it is between 1 and 2 cuts expected for the next 2 years. That's pretty much it. Now, this thing, obviously, it never stays static for a long time, does it? You know, they go in over time. You see stuff like, check this out, right? Where you have, oh no, we're going to price in some hikes. No, we're going to price in a bit of more of a cut back in a hike. So we don't actually do much. But this is just how pretty much it works, right? And so you can see this as well, right? As well, this was the 2022. Look what ended up happening. So the US Fed, this differential, man, it went as high as 2.2%. from April 2022. And then as we move forward in time, the expectations pretty much move like that. We actually came here. This is funny. This was April 2023. Look what ended up happening where it went down to minus 1.2%. The market was like, oh no, we're going to have to like cut in the next 2 years, going to have to cut 4 to 6 times. But then what ended up happening was the economy bottomed out. The economy was just, it stayed strong. That was the interesting part. Now we're still sitting at around here. So that's your pretty much, that's your data interpretation. You don't actually need to know, oh, the CPI, is it good or is it bad? The number doesn't matter, friends. The price of the market of these bonds and all these assets, they matter, okay? The price will tell you how to interpret everything out here. So they're expecting only 1 or 2 cuts, but, you know, Donald Trump has asked them to do a full basis point, which is 4 cuts, so we'll see. In the next piece of news as well, Ondo Finance, friends. So Ondo Finance, just to tell you, you're going to hear a bit about Ondo Finance. Crypto Kobe, billionaire, called them one of the biggest grifts in crypto. He goes, they have a very, very hidden token supply. They only circulate like 2%, something ridiculous. Even though it says 13% circulating, it's actually less than that. It's hidden. But they're going to go up. Why? Because the token supply is all for insiders. Now, you know, I tried to get into the Ondo Finance ICO back in 2021. Because I heard about it from Chico Crypto. Yeah, so Chico Crypto, tokenization, real world assets, they weren't even a narrative in 2021. And he kept reporting about Ondo. And I tried to get into the ICO. They wouldn't let anyone in. They would not let any person in. And then I find out who's in the ICO list. BlackRock. All the big scum, they're in Ondo Finance. A lot of the big scum. Okay, so all the big deep state scum, that's who's in there. And if I check out the price chart here, man, they're fully diluted is 8.8 billion. So this is their price chart as well. Okay, so they've only released 25% of the token supply, whatever it is. But this, you can't do anything, right? From 26 cents, actually went up. Wow, from a year ago. It's still up from January. Wow, it's still up 4 or 5x. Yeah, man. So that's what they got. They got Rocco Negra in. Well, not Rocco Negra were in from day one. So they are pretty much, obviously, they've got the big deals to tokenize the real world assets, you know, and you know, link up with Rocco Negra and all the other big deep state banking cartel institutions. Now, why are they mentioned here? Look, they have started tokenizing US treasuries and they've started it on XRP chain. So there are redemptions done via RLUSD, so Ripple's stablecoin. Now, this could be a test. They're checking it out. Maybe because Ripple, what they do, friends, as well, I know they dump on the community a lot. Well, they dump literally. That's the whole business is to dump on the community, but they take the money and they go try to just bribe everybody. So that you never know. They probably bribe the Ondo. They're like, hey, we'll give you like, you know, $8 million, whatever it is, or $2 million for this deal. Do a tokenization thing on us, you know, so they're paying them for stuff like that. So it comes from the XRP community. And then I guess look, there's nothing like nefarious about this. Like if you're holding XRP, yeah, you're betting that there will be suckers who buy XRP at $10, hoping it goes to $100 up there, right? And so they'll be looking at information like this, and they'll be thinking, oh, Ripple Chain's the future that has all these tokenization stuff. But all these retailers, yeah, because XRP, friends, is for, you know, white collar wearing guys who, you know, usually lawyers. They're always wearing white collared shirts, those types of people. They usually have briefcases, lawyers and stuff out here. It's like the typical XRP retailer meme, that type out here. So they're not really in crypto. You know what I mean? Like they don't like Ethereum. If XRP guys hate Ethereum, They don't look at DeFi Llama stats. They don't see everybody actually using the chains and stuff out here. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because a lot of them, there's a lot more people of them out there, and they don't know what's going on. So their retailer money, the retailer FOMO, can help push. If you're holding XRP, if you're a believer, can help push it to big heights. And what we can do is actually check out the XRP price chart here. XRP is around $2.20. So I think blockchain backup based off the market cap, because they dump a lot, it goes to around $8 here. So that would be his target for everything out here. So yeah, it'll be a big bull flag. Hopefully it does give you another 3x. And blockchain backer is literally a Bitcoin max, XRP, not real maxi, but he's got like 60-70% of his portfolio in it. He's going to be selling up there. It's kind of funny him talking about him saying he's not, the crowd doesn't want to hear it, but that's just how the game works. So it's just important, right? Fundamentals and all these things, friends, fundamentals, we don't really truly grasp in crypto what fundamentals means. It's literally just mind share. If you have believers, I mean, you literally you don't have to do anything out here, right? I mean, but Ethereum has the strongest fundamentals in crypto, but it still went down the dog shit. And also, XRP, you would say, has no traditional cash flow fundamentals, but it just has a community of believers. That's the real fundamentals, right? And it came back too. You know what I mean? So it's good for you and me. It's good for you and me. It would be very nerve-wracking if XRP just went to zero. It would be very scary, because it would show you a lot of people can get things wrong, even though the community keeps growing. If the thing never makes profit, you know what I mean? Which is different to stocks. Stocks are not valued like a network, okay? Only like Amazon and Apple, the Magnificent Seven. Stocks are valued actually like a company, okay? There's cash flow, there's balance sheet, that's the meme of them out here, yeah? Crypto is not valued off cash flow. Crypto is valued like a city, a GDP of a network. It's valued like a network, okay? So, for example, Dubai collects 0% in taxes, okay? There's no taxes there. Would you go and value the city of Dubai at $0? Oh, you collect no revenue out here. Okay, sweet. Well, because you wouldn't value it at zero, well, that means also in crypto, if there are transactions and businesses and DEXs and NFT marketplaces and gaming and hyperliquid trading and all these other stuff, just because there's no cash flow going directly to, the stakeholders doesn't mean that the city's worth zero, right? So that's what we've been discovering over time. That's why I've made a lot of videos out here, and we've been cranking it. All right. The BitWise CIO says that Bitcoin is going to hit 200K by the end of the year. Let's go and hear him talk. Let's see what this gentle sir has to say.
Are you still optimistic that could happen? And what are some of the other factors that would help catapult Bitcoin to that level?
Yeah, we still are holding by that prediction. I think that's how the market is setting up. When we look at the market, Talia, we see a structural imbalance between the demand for Bitcoin and the available supply. We know the Bitcoin network only produces 165,000 Bitcoin per year. That's the full supply. And we see demand from ETFs, which are pulling in hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin per year. Corporations, as we discussed, also purchasing hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, and governments purchasing, in our view, hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. As the structural demand supply imbalance plays out in the market, it's exhausting the available supply. We think we're close to breaking out to new all-time highs. And when we do, we think, the market could run all the way up to 200,000. It would help if the U.S. government announced net new purchases of Bitcoin for its U.S. strategic reserve. It will help if we get passage of the Genius Act and maybe market structure regulation in the U.S. But even if those things don't happen, we think the demand from institutional investors and corporations and governments around the world are enough to lift this market much higher. It is just a fantastic setup for Bitcoin right now, with worries about the dollar, growing institutional demand. I think it's going to be a fantastic second half of the year.
And it certainly will be.
There you go. And so when it comes to all these predictions, obviously take them with a grain of salt, because, everyone's just guessing. Everyone's the highest number possible. We're going to be waiting for our traditional exotic top signals. I've been updating the list, friends. Remember, 1 billion public ICO raise and just a few things that'll hopefully get ticked off. Man, it'll be amazing if all of them get ticked off, right, in a period of like a 30, 60-day period. That'd be amazing. Because then I'm not going to be like, if that happens, right, I'm not going to be telling people, please listen to me, please. I don't care. I'm just going to be, I will be saying, hey, well, all of my exotic top signal lists, a lot of them have been hit. So like, okay, what else is there left? Think about stuff. Oh, the US Fed literally has to print money and buy it. Okay, that's extreme. Okay, what if that doesn't happen, by the way? You got like, we've hit like 10 things on the list, extreme exotic sub signals, and we're trying to invent new ones. That's bad. You know, that's like saying that's the inverse of imagining you're in the bear market and like you just had 300 pieces of bad news, which is what we have at the bottom. And then you're like, oh, and then what if the world goes into a Great Depression for 15 years? I'm like, okay, now you're just inventing stuff. You're literally looking for any reason not to buy at all. So hopefully we get the inverse of that, where everybody's looking for any reason to stay long. Something that might contribute to that as well, baby dolls, is BT Coin. We might see banks and other institutions give people access to lending on their Bitcoin. Okay, not our cute DEX, DeFi, Aave, and all these other stuff. Not the actual real ones in the world. So that would be a fantastic top signal because it would entice everybody to like never sell. Because they'll be like referencing Michael Saylor. He goes, well, don't sell because then you have to pay taxes. Bitcoin's going to, it's growing at like, 60% per year. And you're only paying like, 8% per year on your debt. So, but once that gets to the mania, I'm like, okay, cool. They're all trapped. They're going to wish they sold. However, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. We need like a euphoric Bitcoin price. Like maybe Bitcoin is 280,000 or something. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just happen like right now. It comes only as the prices pump. Check this out as well, friends. So the SEC has acknowledged the NASDAQ filing for the SUI ETF, SUI. So it's very obvious, friends. There's some bribery, forgery stuff out here. Do you know anybody using SUI, by the way? Do you literally know any? No, you don't. No one uses SUI. The people using SUI, it's Raul's community, Raul Powell, rah. He's got 1 million followers. You know what I mean? That's a lot. That's literally a lot. Okay. So it's huge in terms of like the outreach of just getting the right people on board, right, with the big boost. But the fact that SUI, bro, you're a Cycle 1 coin and you're centralized, how the hell are you getting an ETF? You know what I mean? Like XRP should get an ETF before you guys, because they've been around for longer. But it is what it is, right? So I want to see stuff like that. Okay, that's why I'm asking questions like, bro, what the hell are you guys doing ETF? You guys literally pushed the button and then stopped that hacker from taking 160 million, which is good for the holders. But yeah, it's like, okay, bro, you literally have an off button. Why even in crypto if you can do that? You know what I mean? It literally, it's like, okay, if you own a Ferrari, why are you racing it at the skate park? You know what I mean? Where it's just like you're playing 12-year-old kids and they're playing on their skateboard, and you just literally have a Ferrari, which is like a Web 2 server that's centralized, and you're just racing it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's probably just because, crypto, it's because of the growth rate. That's why. Stocks and tech, they're not growing anywhere near as much as we are. So hopefully, friends, I want to see a SUI ETF. I want to see a SUI ETF. I want to see these things appear because I want to see the silliness. You know what I mean? I don't want to hold back on stuff. I want to see as much silliness as we can get. Check this out as well. Trump-backed World Liberty Finance has launched USD1 StableCoin on the Tron network. Once again, say it with me, StableCoin SuperCycle. Trump now has a stablecoin. Everyone's releasing a stablecoin. Everyone. Okay? Everyone but Richard Hart. Okay? So it's going to be interesting how this all plays out. This is the pDAI price chart, friends. Come and have a look at this. pDAI back to around 0.3 cents. Okay, so it's about 3.3x to 1 cent, which would be up here. It's back towards the caddy level. Okay, so I want to give you a quick update as well, friends. I think I've lost whoever did it. So basically, there's been some movement and stuff going on. So there's been some, look, just for the love of God, please, just, I'm not touching any of this stuff, okay? Because I don't know. I've just been hearing from a lot of people, on Twitter Roonies, you guys are talking about there's a new Aave upgrade coming. Okay, there's a new Aave upgrade coming, and it lets you use pDAI in it. Okay, but I don't know, friends. It's not. None of these are official. You know what I mean? Is Richard paying these people? I don't know. Some of you guys have said they're linked to like GIF or there's other stuff out here that just the tokens haven't done well. So I'm not touching any of this stuff. I don't know. Okay. But apparently there's an Aave upgrade coming there. There's buying and burning this itchy dye stuff and Maria and Atropa and glitter pants. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff's happening. I don't know if it's like official, wink, wink. We don't know. No one's ever said anything. Stuff's being deployed. Just be careful. Just take it as in terms of like, oh, something's happening, kind of, right? That's pretty much how I interpret it myself. But it would be nice if we just start to rise up. It'll be lovely. Yeah, because it literally went to zero, man. It literally went to zero. So extremely high opportunity to fade the gravestone emoji. This is a screenshot of the PulseChain PLS core coin prices. Out here, PulseX, nothing's really moving. Everyone's still very, very, very offside. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, friends. We need, if you want to see when do you actually get break even, all right? And what I'm going to do is, okay, so I am like, obviously you're meant to measure everything against BTC. You are. Everything's meant to be in the BTC ratio. I'm going to let it slide this one because Ethereum did a cheat code, cheat mode, scam, manipulation, freak accident on us. Okay, it did. So I'm going to measure against ETH. If you measure anything against BTC, ruined. Literally financially ruined if you see that. Okay, but I'm just going to assume that Ethereum's going to bring it back. Okay, so this is the Pulse-ETH ratio. If you want to see, we need to do a 4.3x rally on top of Ethereum, whatever Ethereum does. We have to rally 4.3x and now you break even. Okay. So you'll break even, and this is with Ethereum. That's obviously, this is the Pulse-ETH ratio. Yeah. Now, if you want to just get back to where we were in May 2023, I mean, we have to run 12x, no higher, 13x. Okay. You have to run literally 13x. So Ethereum has to literally stay still. Let's actually go see. So Ethereum can literally has to stay at 2,600. And then your Pulse price, let's go move it together. Let's go check it out here. Your PLS price, let's go do what 13x is from here. Pulse has to be trading at, there you go, 4.5 sack price. 4.5x sack price up here. Okay, so this is what that looks like on a linear chart. So up here, you go, okay, now you're break even from the launch up there. Okay, so, but that's it's crypto and the liquidity's thin and we're waiting for a big alt season. But yeah, I'm just showing you that the hurdle rate is very high, right? That's why BNB, for example, you don't get a discount, but like, you know, BNB doing like a 50% move against Ethereum from here is like, wow, amazing, you know, and crushes it through new highs. So hopefully we're in good hands. Yeah, that's why as well. Like, that's why you have to look for asymmetric upside opportunity, friends. So hopefully the winner pays up for all the losers. Cracking on as well, friends. A Japanese publicly traded company, Remix Point, has purchased 50 BTC. I'm noticing a lot of companies from Japan now because they're looking at Metaplanet. Remember, friends? So this is, you think you're immune. You think oh no, the FOMO and stuff out here. No, friends, like FOMO, it hits every single person in the world. All right, look at Metaplanet's stock. You see, look what Metaplanet's stock literally did. Because Metaplanet did a freaking 72x rally in a straight line, right? Remember, they added Bitcoin in the treasury. This is a very expensive Bitcoin, by the way. You're paying like you're literally buying a $500,000 equivalent BTC, something ridiculous. But you know, it's just Japan and they're wild over there. So notice how it's starting to inspire other companies to do it. They're like, oh, you know, we're going to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Let's just start buying a bit and stuff out here. So remember, okay, they're in doubt now because they're buying 100K BTC. That's what they're probably going to be cautious here at 100K. If Bitcoin hits 220, they're all getting in. 200K, they're breaching. They're like, oh my gosh, it's going to a million. And maybe that helps flush it to 250. And then we have classic euphoria. I hope we get something like that, right? Trump has said that the trade deal with China is done. So Trump did another full capital letter message out here. He says, our deal with China is done. Subject to private final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and will necessary rare earths be supplied upfront by China. And then he says, we are getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that's Donald Trump out here, capital letters. Going wild. It seems like this is one because could barely speak English. Is probably he wrote this one himself out here. So there you go. Everyone got fatigue of tariffs up and down and left and right, and now here we are. I mean, like, you want to see what tariffs It's kind of funny, man. Look at the stock market, dude. I'll tell you, friends, the stock market prices in the future. Doesn't it do this? Look at this, friends. Look at the wakey, Mr. Stock Market. But have a look at this, friends. Remember, if you wanted the cheapest prices, you literally have to stand in front of the train. Okay, when do you feel good, by the way? When did you feel good about the deal getting done? You only had literally about 7 days here. This was when it was very obvious. Well, you had a lot of confirmation. Oh, the deals. We've actually recovered back the move, right? Back here. But wouldn't it be funny if it went back down here? So there you go. So you see what I mean? You miss out on the entire move. I mean, like, no one's going to buy the bottom. But even if you're just buying here, look at this. You get an 11% return. You basically get a whole year's return worth for your portfolio in the S&P 500 because it grows at like 8 to 10% per year. So that's like, it's amazing. It's like you're cheating if you do that. But look, that's a good example, right? Look, in other coins, like these guys, they're yelling over 11% gains, whereas in cryptocurrency land, man, you can make like 11x, which is huge. This is the others BTC price chart ratio, still garbage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row that were red. We need Ethereum to crank it up. Continuing out here for you. President Trump has urged US Fed's major loser, Jerome Powell, to cut rates by 1 full point. That's 4 cuts. That will be 100 basis points if we do that. He's not budging. Of course, he's not budging because I showed you the US Fed, right? Before I even got to the comments, man. That's why I show you the charts and stuff out here. They price it all in, man. They literally price it all in. Now, obviously, trends still occur, but you know, you get to see stuff out here. What happens in the news? You just look at that. Look at what the market's pretty much saying to that. Stripe is going to acquire crypto wallet startup Privy to simplify wallet integration and expand its crypto product stack. We use Privy. I think we use it to log into FriendTech, friends. I am back in the FriendTech to having a look out here. We're just chatting, but there's not, well, what else can we do, man? Like, it's just market's usually fully dead unless you want to do LA vape cabal stuff. But like, I'm not an insider and you aren't either. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be food for these scum. So we're just going to have to keep playing and see what happens. Now, crypto wallets, that's why I've showed this news here for you because crypto wallets, very interesting. Richard Hart might make one. That might be the next cycle's big thing, okay? Because it's now you get all the infrastructure, you know, the DeFi, the money markets, the NFT, the swapping, the stuff out here, right? And now it's all about that wallet. Because if you can get everybody to use one wallet, keep going to one place, one hub, you can do anything with them there. It's like a website, you know? It's like, you know, you get, like, let's say everybody's trying to open up their own eBay merchant store, eBay, Amazon. Yeah, whoever gets them, everybody in their one website, they can literally offer them anything. Look at Amazon. Now we have clouds. Now we have Amazon Prime. Now we can basically, you know, sell you upgrades of your squeaky chairs and stuff out here. So it's all about the wallet. But it's going to have to be worth your while, right? That's why. So if, let's say, friends, let's say I was a duck named Richard Hart, Greg the Duck. If I was a duck, if you want people to care about the wallet, it needs a token. And the token has to go up. So the wallet has to be a cult itself. So I don't know how he's going to do that. Does he literally just release another token for it? Don't know. Does he tie the PulseChain tokens to it? Don't know. Does he tie pDAI to it? No idea. But he's going to have to do something in that regard. Because otherwise, you just don't give a shit about your wallet, do you? Because there's wallets everywhere as long as they just connect, right? So that's just something to think about. But hopefully, we're going to cross our hurdles that we have right now before we even think about such a wallet. Maybe Richard does come and stream and he does another sacrifice and he gets $1 billion raised at the top. Maybe that happens, you know. Now, of course, whenever I say this, I can already hear people at the back saying, I will never sacrifice again. Yeah, bro, you in your poor state with the rest of us will never sacrifice again. Okay, but you, emotionally charged, euphoric, half-chubbed, right? Excited, green candles, crypto banter, inviting your friend Somi on the show. Somi does a 1-hour interview with, you know, Scotty Boo Milker. Okay, Randy Boo says, pDAI, StableCoin SuperCycle. And he goes, Richard Hart is a genius founder. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just hearing stuff like that all day, and then everyone's saying, oh, I'm so sorry for doubting you. And then they're just literally watching, you know, if they're watching this PulseChain price, it's done something like this, right? And then they're playing your friend Somi at these conferences of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Imagine that. And I'm just, you know, I've got my peg nipples, okay? And we literally start an international global peg nipple revolution. You know, like when that's all building up for like, 2 months. Yes, you forgot. Oh, why was I feeling bad? I mean, it all worked out. It was so obvious it was going to come back. He never left us. You see what I mean? Then you'll be willing to put your money in. Okay. And here's the thing. Okay. You don't even have to put your money in because the fact that, I hope this all works out. Please work. Let's manifest it working out. The fact that everybody got rich sacrificing in the last one is enough to get all these new people in. Okay. They can't compute what 4 years in their mind is like. They can't compute SEC. They're like, oh no, but we got attacked by the SEC. They go, who cares, bro? The SEC can't come again because we got a good SEC now. Oh, he's confirmed not a scammer. He beat everybody in court, and they're just gonna like totally nonchalantly just like disregard all your pain, right? So, that's pretty much what. And here's the thing as well: if you're gonna do a raise, you have to do it at the top. That's when the most money is in. Yeah. Well, you can't do a raise now unless you're literally plasma backed by Bitfinex. That's it. Yeah, there's ICOs, nothing's filling. No one wants them. Everything's just dead. You see? So it's literally been dead for 4 years. So yeah, you can only pretty much raise money at the tops. So that'll be something to think about. Bank of Ants CEO says the bank is developing a stablecoin both independently and in collaboration with industry partners. Once again, say it with me. StableCoin SuperCycle. It's like it just confirms multiple times a day. Everyone's doing a stablecoin. Everyone's supplying a stablecoin. They're all doing the Tether scam where they supply a stablecoin. They buy the treasury bonds. They keep the yield for themselves. They give you nothing. They give you a shitty little stablecoin. Okay. Well, what if there was an unstable coin that could become stable and so you would care about it? I wonder. Paul Tudor Jones says buying Bitcoin is the best way to fight inflation. Now, obviously, friends, Paul Tudor Jones, you've watched his early interviews. He's one of the greatest traders. Was one of the greatest traders of all time. Here he is right now. Let's hear Mr. Paul Tudor Jones speak.
Gold, vol adjusted, Bitcoin, gold, stocks. That's probably your best portfolio to fight inflation. Vol adjusted, because the vol of Bitcoin's obviously 5 times that of gold, so you're gonna do it in different weights.
You said at one point you would allocate 1 or 2% of your portfolio to Bitcoin. Is it still?
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly now that the roadmap is clear. Then I mean again, if I'm a policymaker, I'm gonna run really low real rates. I'm gonna have inflation running hot.
So there you go. Pretty much, she's saying if you're a policymaker right now, they got a lot of debt, right? And the inflation has to run hot. This is Treasury Secretary percent. This is the US debt chart. There's a linear chart, so it doesn't really paint the full picture. You gotta use a log chart, okay? But yeah, friends, there's only one way out of this mess. So if you're a blue pill cuck who believes Wall Street Journal, if you actually think, say, the UFO ships in the sky is either people on drugs or it's all the government, if you're one of those blue pill cuck sheeps, if you actually think that a bat had sex with a Pokeball and then gave you the zombie virus and you think, oh yeah, totally random out here. If you think Donald Trump's assassination was like totally random, kid just finds a ladder, goes up there, and before doing that, he literally goes and wipes all his fingerprints from his home and takes out the trash, wipes it clean. If you think it's totally random that the fancy banana investigators literally just start pissing a hose all over the gunpowder and all the residue 48 hours after the shooting, right, just to wipe all the evidence, you're like, oh, I totally believe these. Or none of these are scripted. If you're a blue pill cuck, okay, you're a sheep like that. You have your cozy little sheep life. Your wife's boyfriend takes her out. You don't know where the hell she's been for like literally 3 months, okay? She changed her status on Facebook, okay? Just to let you know, things are moving out here, okay? She's got his name tattooed. Just a friend though, okay? That's the blue pill cuck lifestyle. You're sitting in the hotel cuck chair, okay? You are in the fiat normie traditional financial system, okay? Your monetary power, okay, because you go to work, you're working for fiat currency, that's where you get paid in, yeah? It is being debased, which means it's being stolen from you at about a net difference of 5 or 6% per year, okay? So you're getting paid an extra 2 or 3% per year from your kippy from your little cute packet of your of inflation. Yeah, but they're actually debasing you at like 8. Okay, so that 5% per year, thank you. Okay, because the debt actually gets paid over a 10 to 12 year period because you're a slave and you're a little cuck. So I thank you, and we all thank you for being a little blue pill sheep cuck. But for the rest of us, you see, these people, these little guinea pigs, are just taking the hit for the rest of us. So like, I commend you. Thank you for doing it. But I'm not doing it, okay? Because we've taken the other pill, okay? We've taken the red pill, the clear pill, the purple pills. We've taken all the pills, friends. You know what I mean? It's going to be a wild weekend here. So in our world, our currency is scarce, okay? It's scarce. Scarce. I love saying scarce. Okay, they can't just mint more of it and more out of it in 2 seconds. They can't, okay? There's limited store seats to get in, okay? Elon Musk has called President Trump privately before issuing a public apology. So Elon Musk comes out and he says, sorry, daddy, I'll never do that again. The US Senate has voted to advance the Evil Genius Act crypto stablecoin bill. Remember, this will literally make most stablecoins illegal. That's what they're trying to do. They want to make it illegal to hand out yield. All right, that's why, and they want it to come from an official bank. So it's banks trying to control crypto. That's why maybe pDAI doesn't even get called a stablecoin. Maybe we just call it another name, a thing. It's like a Bitcoin, a honey badger. It's just something else. Just coincidentally, just sits at $1. It's not a stablecoin, bro. It's the $1 altcoin. It's a $1 altcoin. You know. President Trump has signed an executive order to create flying cars pilot program and accelerate domestic drone production. Yeah, so this is, yes, accelerate domestic drone production. We all know a bunch of it's hocus pocus and stuff out here. So I guess times are changing. AI's coming out. Everything's starting to crank. What's going to happen is major loser Jerome Powell. Is he going to cut rates? Okay, we got a Fed meeting coming up soon. We can actually check it right now. Check out the CME Fed Watch tool. It's in 6 days. Some say 6. 6 days, friends. It's in 6 days out here. CME Fed Watch. See how it says 99%? Yeah, because the market's priced it in. Literally no hold. See, hold, no change. See, no change, 99%. If you click on Julie, right, another 6 weeks from now, they have no change, 81% chance. If you go to September meeting, there is a 70% chance of a cut, 1 cut. Wow, by September, just 1 cut. That's why that's priced into the US 2-year. But you never know. They could always come out. They talk some comments and stuff out here, so we'll see. This is your juicy news. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.